There are two really familiar sights around our church building in Estevan, one of which is a great big jackrabbit. He lives out in the parking lot or around our parking lot anyway, and anytime I walk out there, he jumps up and races across the parking lot. I don't even need to be anywhere near him. I don't need to even see him, but he sees me and he just freaks out and takes off. And so all I ever see of this jackrabbit is him bounding across the parking lot trying to get away from me. That's one of the things I see quite frequently. The other thing you see frequently around Estevan are trains. If you've ever been to Estevan, you'll know that there is a train crossing right by our church building, and there is often a train sitting right on that crossing, and there are cars backed up all over the place waiting to get across, and you just can't get across. And as you sit there, it becomes frustrating because it seems like the train is never going to move. Eventually, though, you can hear the engine spooling up, you can hear it getting louder, you can see the black smoke coming out of it, and you can hear all the hitches clang together, bam, 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 bam. But nothing seems to happen. It just sits there making noise, and then almost imperceptibly it starts to creep forward. In fact, it's moving so slowly at the start that you've got to compare it to the posts that are nearby or something just to make sure it actually is moving, because you can hardly tell. But as the sound gets louder and more smoke billows out, it gets creeping a little quicker and a little more quickly and a little more quickly, and then it starts rolling along at about walking pace, and then maybe it's going 10 miles an hour, and then 20, and then 30, and eventually it's ripping through town doing about 50 miles an hour. It takes a long time for it to get going. It's almost impossible to see it doing anything, but eventually, once it starts going, it is really hard to stop. I want to encourage you today that we need to think more like a freight train than we do a jackrabbit. Most people want things to turn out jackrabbit style. They want it to start quick, they want it to be easy, they want it just to be vroom, and I'm where I'm supposed to be, everything is exactly as it ought to be. But most things in life don't work that way. Once in a while you'll fall into some good fortune, once in a while things will fall into place, God will bless you in a way that maybe you didn't expect, and you get a big surprise somehow. That does happen. But most of the time, good things come along not like jackrabbits, but like freight trains. They come just in really, really small increments. They come almost imperceptibly. They come just in ways you can hardly tell, and they only show up after a long, 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 long time of doing the right thing, of doing the same things, of consistently doing what you ought to do. Thomas Edison one time was famous for saying, "Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up." I think that's probably true. Most of us do things for a long time and we can't see any progress, and so we just give up. We think nothing's happening. But really, if we just kept going a little while longer, if we just kept heading in that direction, we probably would have found something that was good. Something good would have happened. Most of life's failures come from people who just quit too early. That's Edison's belief. So may I encourage you today, think freight train, not jackrabbit. Think long term. Think investing in the same thing over and over, doing the right things over and over and over again, because that's where results actually come from. Writing to the Galatian church, the Apostle Paul says this. He tells the Galatians in chapter 6 verse 9, he says, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest, if we do not give up." Let us not become weary in doing good. At the proper time we'll reap a harvest, if we do not give up. It may seem like you're getting nowhere, but keep doing the thing you know you should do. Keep doing the good thing. Keep investing in people. Keep loving people. Keep heading the right direction. Eventually, you will have a harvest. You will always see the result. Results come more often, lasting results come from being a freight train, not a jackrabbit.